All right, we're given a point, negative 4, 1, with a slope of negative 3. And we want to write the equation of a line that goes through negative 4, 1 and has a slope of negative 3. All right, well, let's see how we're going to do that. First thing we want to do is we want to write the point slope. First thing we want to do is label this x1, y1 for our point. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is write our point slope equation. Y minus y1 equals to our slope times x minus x1. Okay. So you got to be careful here, because here on the point, the x is first and the y is second, but here the y comes first and the x comes second. So you want to be careful with that. You know, people tend to kind of just drop them down, and it's not quite that way. So this would be y minus y1 is 1 equals to our slope is a negative 3 times x minus x1 is a negative 4. So notice that this is minus a negative 4 because this minus is the minus for our equation, and this second minus is the minus for x1. So minus a negative, it's like we're saying the opposite of a negative 1 is a negative 4 is a positive 4, right? Okay, so this is y minus 1, and I'm just going to rewrite this negative 3 times x plus 4. So we're going to distribute the negative 3, right? Because we have to simplify that right side. So this will be y minus 1 equals to negative 3x, and then what are we going to put here? Minus 12, right? Because that would be negative 3 times 4 is a negative 12. Okay. Well, we want to isolate that y. So we're going to, we want to get that y by itself, so we're going to apply plus 1 to both sides, so that we get y equals to negative 3x minus 11, and that is our equation. Okay, and that's our answer. So the reason why we added the 1 is because we want to put this in what we call slope-intercept form. Y equals to mx plus b. So we want to get it to where it looks like any linear equation that we've been working with all along, where the y is on one side and everything else is on the other. Okay. Questions with that? Alrighty. And so that's what this is here. They showed that they substituted in everything. Got the same thing. All right. Any questions with that? Okay. Now, oh, this is backwards. Okay. Now here, slope is the m. The y-intercept, that's our b. Okay. So we'll get, so the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. Okay. All right. Where the y-intercept is where the line goes through the y-axis. So in this case, In this case here, negative 11 would be down here, and we would move down 1, 2, 3, and across 1. So the line would look something like that for this equation. You didn't have to graph that, but just to show you. Slope is going to move down 1, 2, 3, and across 1. 1, 2, 3, and across 1. 1, 2, 3, and across 1. And it's going to do that forever. Okay, that's your slope. All right. So the thing to remember is the y-intercept intercepts or crosses that y-axis at whatever this number here is. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. Find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, before we were given a point and slope. Now we're given an equation. And this equation is a linear equation in standard form. So we want to go from standard form to slope-intercept form. And then we can find slope. So this is, we start with 4x plus 5y equals to a negative 10. And we want to find slope and the y-intercept. Okay, we want to find slope and the y-intercept. So the first thing we do is step 1, solve for y. We solve for y. Okay? So to solve for y, we got to get this 4x over to the other side. So what do we have to do? Yeah, subtract. So I'm just going to rewrite this. So we're going to subtract, right? I like to say apply minus 4x. Minus 4x. Okay, so you got a positive 4x and a minus 4x. What happens to these 4x's? They cancel, right? They go to 0x. But we don't write 0x, but that's really what's happening. They become 0x. Okay, so now we have 5y, and can we combine negative 10 and negative 4x? Can we? No. If we had 10x, right, negative 10x and negative 4x, we could, but this is just negative 10. So these are not like terms, so we can't add or subtract them. So we just have to leave this as negative 4x minus 10. We can't combine them. Well, we got to do something with that 5, right? Well, this is 5 times y, so the inverse of that would be what's the inverse of multiplication? Division. Got to divide 5. But we're going to split it. Divide 5. Divide 5. Because you can't simplify when it's all in one, but you can simplify if you split it. Okay, so the 5's cancel, they go to 1. Okay, so this becomes 1y. We don't write 1y, we just write y, right? But that's really what happens because the 5's cancel out to 1. Now we can't cancel the negative 4 and 5, right? So we just leave it, negative 4 over 5x. But we can cancel 10 and 5, right? 5 can go into 10 how many times? 2. So that's minus 2. And so we wanted to find slope and the y-intercept. Well, to look at our slope-intercept equation, y equals mx plus b, right? Our slope in this case is what? Go ahead. Yeah, it's the coefficient of x. It's not x. X is not included in the slope. It's just, but the sign is negative 4 over 5. That's our slope. And the y-intercept is what? Negative 2. So as an ordered pair, it's always x is 0, and then whatever this number is. It's always, because when you're looking at the y-intercept, right, which would be, in this case, at negative 2, the line is always going to cross where the line crosses the y-intercept. X is always 0 because it did not move right, did not move left. Anywhere on this y-axis, x is always 0. Okay, and you always plot that at the y-intercept. All right, but all we needed was the y-intercept and our slope for this one. Okay, questions there? All righty. So if we wanted to graph this, right, because it's negative, we would move up or down.
Down.
Okay, this would be down 4, and then always to the right 5. Down 4, right 5. The sign will tell you if it moves up or down. If it's minus, it moves down. If it's plus, it moves up. But the denominator always moves to the right. So this would move down from negative 2, it would be 1, 2, 3 to negative 6, and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be down here. And so that's what that line would look like if you were to graph it. Okay? So they didn't ask you to graph it, but we went ahead and did it just for the practice. All right? Okay. Any questions? Okay. Write the equation of a line through 1, 1 and 2, 4. So here we're given, first we were given a point and a slope. And then the second time we were given an equation and we had to find slope and the y-intercept. We weren't given a point. This time we're given 2 points and we have to write and no slope. So we're given 1, 1. Move this down so I have room. 1, 1 and 2, 4. Okay, and we want to write the equation for that. Okay, so first thing we do is we label it x1, y1, x2, y2. What's that? Is this? Oh, you don't have this one? You sure? You should. Hold on. Okay. I apologize for that. Let me just double check, make sure that's not. I think that is on the home, maybe not. I just want to double check to see if this is on my homework. If it is, then we'll cover it. If not, then we'll go pass by it. Okay, so this is not on the homework, so we're going to skip this one. This is not on the homework, so we're going to skip this. Okay, so okay, so we did that already. Yeah, so we're here. All right, so equation of the vertical line, the line that passes through point AB, is x equals A. And that's a vertical line. So notice that whatever a vertical line is x equal to some number because all the points are x. X are the same. And so an equation of a horizontal line that passes through AB is y equals b. So horizontal is the y equals, vertical is x equals. And it's whatever the number is for your ordered pair. In this case, the b is the y coordinate. So that would be y equals b. Here x equals to a, and a is the x coordinate. Now I like to use, and this just shows the same thing, I like to use a different, slightly different, I like to use the table of values in showing this. So here we have y equals to a negative 4, and the other one is x equals to a positive 3. Okay, so what I like to do is tell students to make a table of values. Okay, and then I ask, where should the negative 4 go? Under the x or the y? Under y, right? Because y is negative 4 all day long, right? Negative 4, and we'll do 3 points. Now x can be anything, so we'll call it negative 2, 0, and a positive 2. And if you just draw a rough sketch, so here x is negative 2, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, negative 4. So that's negative 2, negative 4, 0, negative 4, and 2, negative 4. So it's a horizontal line that goes through at negative 4. Okay? So that's a horizontal line that goes through at negative 4. All right? Questions with that? Okay. Here we have x equals to 3. So the 3, is that going to go under the x or the y column? Going to go under x. So that's 3, 3, 3. So I want you to come up with your own values for y. Use some, and 0, I always like to use 0. 0 is a good, good one. But then choose a negative and a positive, any number you choose, any number you want. And if everybody were to choose different numbers, we should all come up with the same line, okay, same graph. All right, so go ahead and try that. And I'll go around the room and see how we're doing. And I'd like to get a want to come up and draw it out. Careful now, this is 3, 1, so, but that's X, right? So X is here, right? 3, 1, 3, 0, and 3 negative. Right? Yeah. That's all right. That's why we're doing this, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's put that up. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. You're close. This one here should be done. All right. Good. So you're always, because it's linear, right? Linear equation is always going to be a straight line, right? Okay, so give me some numbers here. Negative what? Negative 1. And give me another number. 1. Positive 1. All right? Okay, no matter what you chose for numbers, right? X is 1, 2, 3, right? These are X's. Before we had negative 4, negative 2, negative 4. The Y's were the same and the X's changed. Here the X's are the same and the Y's are different. So here's 3, negative 1. 3, 0, 3, 1, right? So you get a vertical line going through at 3. Okay? Questions with that? All right, very good. Okay, so it helps to do that. But once you get used to knowing that y is always horizontal, it goes through the y-axis. Okay? It goes through the y-axis at negative 4, and it goes through the x-axis at 3. Okay, parallel lines. Two distinct non-vertical lines are parallel if and only if they have the same slope. In other words, the slope of the first line, or M1, is equal to the slope of the second line, or M2. I didn't subscript it on this one, but I believe you get the idea. Okay, so that just means the slope of the first line is equal to the slope of the second. So in other words, if we had two equations, right? Y equals to 2x plus 1 and y equals to 2x minus 3. These two lines would be parallel. This would go through here at 1 and it would go up 1, 2 and across 1. That would be this one in green. The other one in red, negative 3, would start here at negative 3 and go up 2 and across 1. So these lines would be parallel. In other words, they would never touch. They would be like railroad tracks. Same slope. And this is what we mean by M1 equals 2M2. The slope of the first equation is the same as the slope of the second equation. Okay? All right. Two lines that are perpendicular are if and only if the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. Negative reciprocals. In other words, the slope of the first line, you would take it, you would flip it, and change the signs. flip and change the sign of the second slope in relation to the first. And so that's why it's M1 is equal to the negative 1 over M2. Okay, well, let's see what that means. Let's say we had my equals 2/3 x plus 1. All right. So we get, we're still right now, or can we move on? All right. So here we have an equation, y equals 2/3 x plus 1. So in order for us to have a perpendicular line to this one, if this is positive, then the second one would have to be negative, and we take the 3/2 and you flip it, so it would be 2/3 x plus or minus, and it doesn't matter what the second one is. But notice the signs are opposite. If one's plus, the other one's minus. If one's minus, then the other one is plus. So the signs are opposite, and then you take the reciprocal, you flip it. So these two lines are perpendicular. So in other words, if you had one going like this, right, the other line, this one, would be going down like this. So they would be 90 degrees to each other, right? Well, perpendicular means that the lines are right, they form right angles, okay? All right, so questions with that? All right, write an equation for the line described. We want a line that's parallel to y equals 5 through -4, 3. Okay. So, parallel to y equals 5 and -4, 3. So, and then the other one, perpendicular. Perpendicular to x equal -4 through 1, 5. Okay. So, if we have y, if we were to draw this out, right, y equals 5, is that horizontal or vertical? Y is going to be 5 all day long, right? Y is 5, y is 5, y is 5, y is 5. So it's, what is up here? It's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's horizontal, right? And our point is -4, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we want something that's parallel to this line, y equals 5. So that would make this y equal what? Y equals 3, right. Because it's going through, the y coordinate is 3, right? So you take in y equals to whatever your y coordinate is. Okay? Questions there? Okay, so if you had to, you could have started with your table of values right, and you would put 5 under the y, put -1, 0, +1, and you would have gotten the same thing. And then your point, so you knew that you would know it would be a horizontal line, and you just draw a line parallel to that. So parallel, think of parallel like railroad tracks. Think of perpendicular like an intersection, street intersection, right? Okay, questions with that? Okay, here perpendicular to negative, x equal to -4. So if we drew a table of values, right, where's that -4 going to go? Under the x or y? Under x, right? -4, -4, and we'll do it 3 times, -4. So y, let's choose something else besides 1. Let's do 2, or even 3. -3, 0 on a +3. Doesn't matter. It's just that it's a little bit more spread out. Okay, so this is -4, 1, 2, 3, -4, -3, right? So -4, 0, and -4, +3. So x equal -4, is that horizontal or vertical? It's vertical, right? But we want a line that goes through at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want a line that's perpendicular that goes through this point. So are we going to draw railroad tracks or an intersection? We're going to draw an intersection, right? So we're going to draw an intersection because we want to go perpendicular through this point and perpendicular to x equal -4. So that means that this equation, is it going to be x equal or y equal? Well, if the vertical line was x equal, this is going to be y equal, well, y equal what? Yeah, 5. Very good.